Hi, my name is Mia. I'm a sewist and all things design enthusiast here on YouTube. If you're here after watching part 1, then you know that I'm trying to make this skirt. In part 1, I made the underskirt, finished patchworking the upper panels for the skirt, and was just about done cutting all of the stripes needed for the lower panels. I also drafted a pattern that I ended up being happy with. I'm going to resume the patchworking, and I'll see you when it's time to assemble. Successfully patchworked the front and the back lower panels, which means that I should be done patchworking. Today was a rough one, By now, I should have all of the elements needed to assemble this skirt. However, there's one last thing that I need to attempt, and that is pockets. Real ones. Now, it's not looking too good, and that is because I did not take into consideration the inclusion of pockets in my original design, and I think I probably should have made pockets inside the underskirt. So I don't really know how I'm gonna go about this, but I guess it's all about trial and error, right? Last night I ended up sewing everything together and I found a big issue which I was accounting for. I was accounting for issues, so it's fine. Apparently when I added the centimeters on the sides to avoid the fabric curling up when I gathered, what I was actually doing was creating a bulge on the sides. But I have been thinking about how to solve this, and I think that I might get lucky. I'm gonna go ahead and sew off a few strips, which should solve the bulging issue, and I also should be able to avoid undo it anything. Well, that's the plan. I look like Las Meninas. That made absolutely no difference at all. I mean, I know these are the things that happen when you are self-drafting and have absolutely zero experience self-drafting, but somehow, and I know it's delusional, but somehow I'm still disappointed. I'm thinking about just opening the bias tape over here, removing what I need to remove and close it off instead of opening everything. The issue that I have is that I'm not sure. I can also do another thing. Me trying to avoid taking the right steps. This is a thing. It is a thing with me. But basically I'm thinking, what if I close it off, like the whole thing, reach here, and then open the bias tape, remove the excess, and close it off. I know it isn't the right way, but I mean, I don't want to have to disassemble this, and I'll tell you why. This is one of the first times that I've assembled a waistband, and it's looking so clean, it's looking so perfect, so I'm trying not to touch that. last night I ended up fixing the bulging, and it's looking quite clean if I do say so myself. So technically I would only have to hem the bottom of the skirt and voila, I would have a magnificent medieval inspired skirt that I self-drafted. I could finally wear it out, and I could also conclude this first chapter of my YouTube journey. But then I was editing and I stumbled upon footage of me ranting. In this footage I was somehow concerned that the skirt might not be long enough to be a maxi skirt, and I suggested that if it ended up not being maxi, I would add a ruffle to add some length. Now the skirt is in fact maxi, but I know you know where this is going. I thought, hey, if I'm going in with the gathering and the stripes and the bows and the slits, I might as well go all in. So I'm going all in. To say that I am wearing the finished skirt. No more adjustments. I'm done. First and foremost, it fits like a glove. At some point it had me wondering. So I'm really happy to have pulled that off. I have had things not be my size. Alright, lessons I've learned. The first lesson is to never stop shooting for the stars. Now this whole self-drafting thing was very intimidating to me. And this must be my second time self-drafting. But I have to say that it isn't as complicated as it seems. In fact, it is time consuming, not complicated. For those of you who are looking to get started self-drafting, I have some suggestions, opinions, consejos, advice. First is get as close as you can to your actual measurement by using your own clothes. We actually have in our own closets things that fit us just perfectly and that we can use to make new things. For me, I felt relief once I had the underskirt done, because I knew that at that point I couldn't mess up too much. Second advice is definitely, if you can, test your patterns on scrap fabric. I know for me it went awry. It was actually the adjustment that I made to the original pattern that kind of messed this up, which is kind of strange. And the last one is be patient. You will make mistakes. I have made mistakes. This is all about trial and error, so don't get discouraged when things don't go right from the start. I know I got discouraged a little bit when this whole pockets peeking out thing happened. It was really frustrating trying things and them not working. But you know what? It took me 2 tries to get it right. So it's not even like that much. It's just a whole afternoon. Side note. There's always one. No, but really, this project has given me a lot of confidence when it comes to self-drafting. I've always been very reticent to self-drafting and have always tried to find patterns online. I think that's what happens to a lot of us beginner sewists, where we are afraid of messing up, so we just rely on things that already exist. The thing that I will say is that working with patterns that already exist is a limit to your creativity. I haven't found any pattern online that looks like this skirt, and so that's why I ultimately decided to make it on my own. So if you have an idea and it's a very out of reach idea but you're obsessed with it, just go ahead and try it. It definitely is time consuming. It definitely is not an easy and fast project, but you know what, it's kind of worth it, and it will boost your confidence just like this project boosted mine. Well, that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. I hope that you have enjoyed watching this video just as much as I enjoyed making it. Again, first time filming. If you'd like to encourage me, consider subscribing. It would mean a lot. Next week's video won't be such a roller coaster, I promise. See ya.